What is going on, everybody? Welcome to another edition of Face to Heels. This is episode 30. My name is Ben Cornett. This is Pro Wrestling Talk, and you can find me on X at BennyBoys702 and here on Facebook in the Ben Zone. Everybody, what's going on? It's been a couple weeks, but it's good to be back here talking wrestling, and it's even better because I got a tag team partner. There's going to be a tag team match tonight on this week's episode. So let me bring in my tag team partner, man who loves wrestling just as much as I do, maybe even more. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Nick Rosario. Nick, welcome to Face to Heels. How's it going, man?
Thank you for having me, sir. Always a pleasure. No, things are good. It's Wednesday. It finally warmed up a little bit here in Chicago. It's only 17 degrees today, so, it's a heat wave.
Hey, there you go.
Only 17. After this last weekend, that's a heat wave, my friend, let me tell you.
And, man, we definitely have a heat wave coming up in the next couple weeks here in wrestling. It's been a heat wave right now, Nick. I mean, if you really stop and think about it, we've had quite a week. Not just WWE-wise, but also TNA, AEW as well. TNA had those who don't watch TNA, I don't watch it very often, but it's getting my interest back into it because that show here, ironically, was here in Vegas this weekend, Nick.
Yes.
I forgot about it because, again, I don't watch it too much.
Right.
Had I known, I have my brother-in-law works at the Palms. I probably could have got tickets to this thing.
Oh, it's at the Palms. Nice. Okay.
The Palms in Vegas, yes.
And,
but I saw some of the matches on the show, and the biggest surprises, Nick, were Nick Nemeth, as many as you know, is Dolph Ziggler back in WWE days. Made his debut, and he went after the big fish, Mr. Moose, who is the new TNA World Heavyweight Champion. Nick, what do you think of Mr. Nemeth and TNA? Do you think this is a great fit for the company? I do. I think it's personally good.
Dolph, Nick Nemeth, whatever you want to call him, whatever you know him as, this guy's always been a good worker. I mean, you look at the matches he's put on with everyone. I mean, he's wrestled every top guy in WWE, honestly, for the last, he's been there 20 years, I think. Like, he's literally wrestled every top guy that they've had, starting with when he was in the Spirit Squad. He wrestled Shawn Michaels and Triple H endlessly. They wrestled every night for months on house shows and pay-per-views and all that. So he started out that way. Like his WWE debut was pretty much the Spirit Squad, and they fought with Triple H and Shawn Michaels right away. And then he moved on to everyone else. Like, he's fought Randy Orton, right? He's fought Goldberg. He's fought all of them. I mean, he's wrestled every top guy you can think of, and he's always been a good worker, whether you liked his character, didn't like his character, whatever it was. And for a while, they pushed him hard. Like, he won the heavyweight championship, and I thought it was great. Like, I thought, the cash-in for the Money in the Bank cash-in that he had was great. Like, the whole thing, like, it just – and then for some reason, as the years went on, he just became one of those guys who they just used to get other guys over. Like, he's lost many a match. And he's talked about it. Like, he's been used as the guy who can get other people over, can get a younger guy a good match, can do this, do that, and it just. And I think he probably they released him, and I think he welcomed it. He's like, it's time for a change. I've done everything I can do here. You're not going to push me anymore. So I think showing up in TNA was great. Again, you got a great worker in Nick and Dolph. Dolph. I'll keep calling him Dolph. I know it's what I'm used to, but I mean, you got a great worker in him. I'd be interested to see what they do with him. Like, obviously they kind of threw him right away into the main event scene, as it were, by having him come out and confront Moose, as you said. So, I think it's a great pickup for them, and then hopefully, they'll let him, just do what he does, because he's actually a good promo. He's a good worker. So, I look forward to seeing what he does. Absolutely.
Yeah, and I think, for TNA, you could use somebody like a Dolph Ziggler or Nick Nemeth, that's what we should say.
Yeah.
Mainly because of, being on WWE TV for so many years. Now, I know a lot of internet wrestling fans will say, oh, another WWE guy. Well, here's the thing. TNA needs a recognizable face. You need a
Yes.
nickname. I think it's very important. Like you said, he's just such a great worker, good promo. I'll even say great promo. The guy can knock it out of the park when you need
No, he
to.
can. He's very good at what he does. Let's put it that way. Yeah.
Utility player. I mean, the guy, he just can do it all, and that's all you can ask for out of a pro wrestler. I mean, a guy that can work any style. He can work in any company because he's very flexible. I mean, that's hard to find these days in pro wrestling because there's certain guys that can do this, but then there's certain guys that can do that. But when you have a Nick Nemeth, he could do a little bit of both. So
he does it all. That's for sure.
And with the other wrestling news going on, also Dana Brooke is now Ash by Elegance in TNA.
Ash by Elegance, right? Ash by Elegance.
That's an interesting name. I think Dana's another one that I think could use another company to be in, something different, a company where you can utilize her better. I'm not saying that she wasn't utilized well in WWE. I just think
I will go ahead.
Well, in other ways, yes, but
no. I mean, I always felt like she was actually not used well enough. And again, I understand. There's a ton of women on the roster, and you got to do something to make yourself stand out. But I always liked Dana Brooke. She was athletic. She could move around the ring. Like, she had a skill set there, and I just think they didn't really push her. Like, the one time they tried, they gave her a small, she was in the championship picture for a while. She was in that ladies' Money in the Bank match, running around Titan Tower, trying to, they did the whole thing where she sees the fake thing hanging from the ceiling and thinks that's the briefcase, pulls it down, finds out she didn't win. Like, I mean, I get it. Like I said, you can't push everyone, but I always thought she deserved a little bit better. Personally, that's just me. And so we'll see what she does with this character. Like, I kind of hope that she goes in there and they give her an opportunity to just work, to just do things, have good matches, have more than a 3-minute match on television. Because honestly, even when she wrestled, 4 minutes, like, they would give her 4 minutes. She'd generally lose most of the time anyways. She was always in programs where she was putting everybody else over. So I just feel like this would be a great new opportunity for her to do something. I hope the character works. I mean, it's a similar character to what, I always hate when I forget it. Tony Storm, right, is doing this similar type of 30s, kind of that elegant, right, that whole classy lady, all refined, whatever. So, like, you kind of wonder if they're copycatting a little bit, but I hope Dana can pull it off, or Ash by Elegance, as she's called, and see what happens there in TNA with her.
Yeah, no, and Nick, with the Knockouts division, they did lose Deonna Purrazzo. She's in TNA or AEW now.
AEW.
I think they're going to be losing Trinity, aka Naomi.
Oh yeah, and see, that's the thing. She did great for them for the last 6 months. Like, she gave them a name for that women's division, and she held the title for that. You know what I mean? So for those of us, and you know as well as I do, the rumors persist. And when you see something like this happen, you've seen wrestling long enough to know. All of a sudden, out of nowhere, she kind of drops the belt. Right? She passes the torch, as it were, and it just so happens that in I don't know, a week and a half, there's a Royal Rumble match happening in San Antonio, Texas. That exactly. You hear the countdown, and you're gonna all of a sudden, look, Naomi's back. You feel the glow? Here you go. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're probably gonna see that. I think we're all expecting it. So, but anyways, we'll see what happens with that. But sorry, I cut you off. I apologize.
No,
Trinity is
what I said, with her possibly leaving too, you have to fill those voids. So, with an Ash by Elegance, they're coming in. Jordan Grace is the current Knockouts champion now. So you got her, you got Gazelle Shaw. I mean, you got some talent on that, Knockouts
100%.
So adding more to it is always a good thing. So anyway, TNA, they're on the way up, and I feel they're with the rebranding. I think it does help a little bit. We'll see how it goes, man. It's piquing my interest a little bit. We'll see.
But I got you. I feel you.
We'll get some other news real quick too for our main topics of WWE. Right now, NXT. We unfortunately had an injury this past Friday at a live event. Cora Jade. She went up against Roxanne Perez. Title match, and with the live events.
Yeah.
I fear her she has a torn ACL, so she could be out almost a year. It was announced last night by Vic Joseph, the lead announcer for NXT, that he was supposed to compete in the 20 women battle royal to determine the number one contender for
Okay.
Valkyria's NXT women's title. That ended up. That's when the announcement was made, and that's when ultimately Roxanne Perez won the match, and she'll face Lyra in a couple weeks. So
Okay, gotcha.
It's a little disappointing, and you can't blame her at all. Injuries happen, but it's just a shame that she's possibly going to be one of those that could be called up to the main roster soon.
Yeah.
Now you have a setback, and we just hope that Cora recovers quickly. We definitely want to see her back in the ring, but it's interesting because these injuries we've seen the last couple of years with NXT with Nikita Lyons. She had a
got her
knee injury. Soul, the surfer girl, Soul.
Oh yeah. Forget her name, right? Exactly. I know. Yeah,
I know. I'll screw the name up. I don't. But if you watch NXT, you know what I'm talking about. So
right, exactly.
They've got some injuries. I mean, it's a big deal, and I've heard people, well, they're training too hard, or what are they doing down there? They happen. They happen. Injuries happen, unfortunately, and so we'll see what happens there. AEW, they did have Dynamite tonight. It's interesting. Decent show, I would say. Right now, as we're heading, the main storyline would be Samoa Joe against Hangman and Strickland. So it looks like that's probably going to be a triple threat match at the next pay-per-view, which is Revolution, March 3rd, about 6 weeks. So, AEW, this is built around Sting. This is his last hurrah. Him and Darby against the Young Bucks.
Right, yeah.
Segment. I don't know if you caught any AEW tonight, but they had a segment.
I did not, sorry.
Okay. Renee Paquette interviewed the Young Bucks, and they're going with this kind of snobby, arrogant, we're EVPs now. We should be acting like
geez.
We need to call us, we need to refer to us as Nicholas and Matthew. Like,
is that what they're doing? Okay, sure.
We're guys of
with their mustaches and all,
yeah. So I'm okay with that. I mean, it's something different. Have them that.
Sure.
So I don't know, Nick. I mean, it's AEW. I feel they have to have a big few months here because WWE is going to have all the momentum. Royal Rumble, WrestleMania.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Can they get back on track? I mean, I don't know. Well, it's hard. What do you think?
Do you know what my biggest problem is with AEW?
Go ahead.
Honestly, stop trying to compete with WWE. Focus on what you do best. Just do, have your storylines, stop trying. Because I'm going to be honest with you. I've been, like I said, we've said this before, but I've watched wrestling since I was 3 years old. Okay. I've been watching wrestling for 48 years. Okay. And I'm stressing that for a reason, because trust me when I tell you guys, you're not taking out WWE. Okay. You're not. They have such a hold, and this is why people get upset at times. Like, well, there's no competition, there's no this. So these federations have all popped up now. But again, understand, if you stay in your lane and put on a good product, I guarantee you the wrestling fans will find you. They will see your shows. They will go to your shows. Wrestling fans are like that. They just want to see good wrestling. WWE is what it is. It's built itself up. So it's like the New York Yankees. It really is. And everybody else is every team trying to be the New York Yankees. Like, it's just, they have all the money. They have all the TV. They have everything. And it's fine. That's how it's been for years. Like, you're not going to change that as much as you think. There was one company who thought so, and look what happened. He ended up buying them. Okay, WCW thought the same thing, and look what happened. Their arrogance got the best of them. They started putting out a crappy product, and before you know it, Vince bought them out. And just said, okay, swallowed them whole, and that was it. And that's all I'm saying, Tony Khan. Just be you. You have some very good people on your roster. You have some great talent there. Focus on that. Don't try to compete with WWE and all this and then back and forth and, and all that. No, just do what you do best. Use the people you have, put some good storylines together, and just put on an entertaining show. That's all you need to do. People will come to it. But when you try to do this and that, or you want to start a war on Twitter, or X, whatever you call it now, and you want to say stuff about this, you want to talk about Jinder getting a title match on nonsense. Just stop it. Honestly, if anything, you made that match more. See, this is what they don't get either. And I'm sorry, I know I'm going on a rant here, but think about this. This is exactly what WCW did too, if you remember.
Mhm.
Oh yeah, that match is predetermined. Mick Foley wins the title, big deal. And what happened? That was the day that it turned because everybody went, "Oh crap, Mick Foley wins the title?
But,
I need to see. I want to see that." Yeah, and they did. And look what happened. From that day forward, WCW lost its lead, and WWE took them over, and that was the end of that. And again, eventually the buyout, and they were done.
Yes.
Don't
Nick, that was
poke
25
the
years ago, a couple
yeah.
weeks ago.
Was
25
it a couple weeks? Yeah, was it just the 25th anniversary of that? But yeah, don't poke the bear. Okay, just do you. Leave the bear alone because the bear is going to be there. They're not going anywhere.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? They got everything. They've got their own network. Why do people buy Peacock? Just to watch the damn wrestling. You know what I'm saying? Like people, you're not going to overtake them. Just stop it. Focus on your product. Focus on what you're doing, and just put on a good show. And you guys will be fine. I promise. But definitely stop trying to compete with WWE.
Nick, Tony needs to stop being on this.
Yeah. 100%. I mean, to equate it to what you and I would understand, you're not Jerry Jones, buddy. It's not, don't be that guy. You're not bigger than the product. You're not bigger than you know what I'm saying? No. Yes. Let the talent shine. You stay in the back and do your executive thing and leave that to everybody else, man. Just stop. Seriously. Cut it out.
Yeah. I said it in 2019 when I first saw AEW's show, their first Dynamite. Okay, so I was thinking, ooh, this is interesting. Okay.
Oh,
I said, as long as they don't compete, don't try and compete. Do your thing. Be an alternative to WWE. Yes, for a little bit there, they actually were.
Right. And then, it gave you something else to watch.
Then drama came out. Cody left. Now, I do believe, I think I know why Cody left. I think there was some personal. Cody's never said it publicly. He said he never will.
He never will. Right. He never will.
Yeah,
but
he'll keep it, and that's fine. But we can always speculate and stuff. But Cody leaving, I think ever since then has really affected AEW because.
Well, think about it, Ben. Like, Cody started AEW, right? This was his idea, his baby. Mm-hmm. You don't always just walk away. Forget about the story being finished and all that other stuff. You don't just walk away from your baby after a few years and go, well, I'm done with that. Obviously, something went on. Something happened. Like, you just don't walk away from something you've created like that. I don't know anybody, especially when it was starting to become a success. You don't just say, okay, I'm out. There's no way that happens in any, without something major going on behind the scenes. That's just my opinion. But, yeah, I don't think Cody Lee, I mean, this was his baby. Like, this was, and I get it. In the beginning, he did, with smashing the throne and all that stuff. Like, he was trying to send a message. Fine. And for a little while, as you said, they started to pick up speed. They picked up traction. People were watching. They started grabbing wrestlers from WWE who were being released. I mean, if you look at the roster, there's still a handful of, more than a handful of guys and girls who are there who were in WWE. So, I mean, you had, especially, and the big, like you had bigger, Moxley went over there, Cesaro went over there, Daniel Bryan went over there. You got Renee to go over there. So I mean, you it's not like you were getting like, mid card, lower card people. You were getting main event people to get over to your brand. I mean, we all know what happened with Punk. Sure. Now again, he's back, so we all know how that's going to go probably. But but that's what I'm saying. Like, just focus on what you're doing. Just stop with all the nonsense. Just do you. Yeah.
Very good points, Nick. And before we move on, I want to say real quickly. I don't know. You probably read this about Deonna Purrazzo earlier this week with getting attacked personally on, because she showed her body and everything. I just want to say this to the trolls out there. You wish you could have something like Deonna Purrazzo. Have you seen how hot she is? I mean, I'm sorry. She is very hot.
Yeah.
I don't care.
She's very attractive. No, she's a very attractive woman. You can't. There's no denying that. Yeah.
Let's see the trolls go on X and put themselves out there in a bathing suit or something. No, they won't because they don't have the guts to. So, Deonna is telling him to kiss her ass. I love her, and I would definitely kiss her ass. I do more than that. So
we know that, Mr. Cornette. We're very aware of what you would do to Deonna Purrazzo. So yes,
the booty meat is always good for me, man. So. Anyway. With that being said, I digress. Let's move on. So now we got, within the next 10 days, we got the Royal Rumble coming up. But we had a little bit of an issue Monday night on Raw. We had a match with Seth Rollins and Jinder Mahal. Rollins retained the title. I think we all expected that. But
Yeah.
he did have some kind of an injury. Now we don't know the severity of it. The severity of it. He's getting an MRI this week. Now we're not hoping for the worst, but let's hypothetically say, this could not be very good.
Right.
What does this do for like WrestleMania and Raw? It's got to change. Like,
well, see, that's the whole. Yeah. I mean, if it's as serious as it could be, and he's out 6 months, yeah, what are you going to do? You have to move. You have to go on. So what? You strip him of the title. You have some sort of thing, like maybe have a series of number one contenders matches, whatever it is. But yeah, and then maybe again, I'm just speculating because we don't know exactly how the extent of the injury. But yeah, these things do happen. It's happened before. I mean, still get Sting. His WWE stint was cut short because of an injury.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Like he basically got hurt in that match with Seth and just really didn't recover from that. And he ended up leaving. And it's just one of those things, and he wasn't done, but WWE was apparently done with him. So he moved on. But it just, you just never know. And again, I hope Seth is fine. But can I mention something about that match? Like, if you don't mind?
Oh, absolutely.
Something really, and again, I understand people are like, Jinder probably shouldn't have been in that match anyways. He just came back and all of a sudden he gets a title match. But one thing I get it's a one-off. It's probably a one-off. I don't think Jinder will get another title match. But the fact of the matter is you tried to push him in 1 week and basically essentially buried him again in another week. And I'm going to explain to you how I feel that happened.
What?
Seth kicks out of everything Jinder threw at him at the end there. It almost looked, and it might have been because of the injury, it looked like the ending was kind of rushed. But, I mean, he takes a shot to the head from the briefcase, kicks out at 2. He takes the Colossus, kicks out at 2. I mean, everything that Jinder threw at him at the end, and I get it. I know it's predetermined. He's supposed to win, obviously. We didn't think Jinder was going to win. But my point is, when you do stuff like that, you make the other guy look weak because he can't put this guy away with this finishing move or with the outside interference of getting hit. I got hit with a briefcase in the head. That, most guys are out, is out after that. I just feel like, Jinder is always one of those guys who I've been interested by only because he makes a great heel and he can work in the ring. I don't think he's phenomenal, but he's a very serviceable guy in the ring. And I think when you do something like this, like, what do you do with Jinder now? You're going to throw him back in the pile? Like, just, okay, he came back. He had the thing with The Rock. He gets his title match. Again, everything he does well gets blown up. Seth kicks out of all of it. And then that's it. So now he's going to go back with his 2 boys and do what? Go after somebody else? I mean? I feel like I hate when they do stuff like that. Like, there's a way you could have done it where Jinder still looked pretty strong. He loses the match because we all figured he would. Nobody thought Seth was going to give up the title on a Raw. But you still could have made Jinder look a little bit better is my thing. You put him in the match, whatever, but that's just my opinion again.
Nick,
like they do that.
And I hear what you're saying. I think one of the things I will give a little bit of criticism on, not so much the match, but the layout of the match. Now, take away his finishing maneuver. Don't let him do that. Just do the cheating, the briefcase.
Yeah, exactly.
That part. If he'd have done just that part, then it's going to still make him look strong because his finishing maneuver. Now, it seems like anybody can kick out of it.
But that's my point. You've weakened what his finishing move is. Yeah,
the little details. That you're right. Those little details that can or like have the referee get knocked out. Do that
something
move.
Yeah, something. Yeah.
And then he's waiting for the ref, where are you? Like, let's get then he can kick out of it that time. But when, like you said, when they may have just rushed it, like you said, maybe because of the injury. So
right.
I don't think it's gonna hurt Jinder at all, really. I mean, it's not like he's gonna be a world champion again. He's not gonna be the top guy.
Probably not, but again.
But yeah, I see what you're saying.
You kick out of somebody's finisher, it's hard for that finisher then to become that. Well, that's no big deal. I can kick out of the Colossus. Who cares? You know what I mean? Like, it's his finishing move. Like, you just buried his finishing move because Seth kicked out of it.
That's what it
Yeah,
was.
it could have been. I mean, again, yeah.
Yeah. So
That's what I said. I'm
again,
interested to see what happens there, but yeah.
and like I said, I'm interested to see what happens with Seth here. He's getting a scheduled MRI this week, so we'll probably know more details in the following days.
Sure.
But you can't lose him this time of year. I mean, you can't.
No, and that'd be a big. I mean, yeah, that would be a big one because you got to scratch all your plans and basically figure out what you're going to do. And so let's think about that. If you got a minute here,
yeah,
let's hypothetically say Seth is done, right? Like he's out 6 to 8 months, whatever. He's got to recover. Do you put the title on McIntyre? Do you know what I'm saying? Like, they've got the storyline, the whole thing. Now he's going to wrestle Damian next week, blah, blah. He's throwing the cash in, whatever, all that stuff, right?
Yeah.
But logically, doesn't it seem like he would be the next guy up, given who's on Raw currently and what they're doing? If you were going to, or, have a tournament where Drew wins it or whatever. But I mean, who, and let me ask you this. Maybe this is what I was getting at.
Yeah.
If not Drew, then who? You know what I'm saying? Like, if not Drew, who do you give the title to on Raw?
I wonder.
Because you don't give it to Cody like that. You know what I'm saying?
No,
you don't give it. You don't give it to Cody like that, right?
Yeah. What I'm thinking, Nick. Let's expect. Unfortunately, let's expect the worst here.
Right.
Let's say Rollins is going to be out a while. Now, don't announce it.
Right.
Have him come in and do a match, but do something to where he gets attacked backstage.
And yeah, whatever it is. Yeah.
Comes out, he fights. He's like, "No, I'm not going out like that. You're going to have to kill me." And then Drew. Let's say it's Drew McIntyre. He wins the match.
Right. Yeah.
I think you don't have a choice but to have Damian Priest cash it in.
Okay.
If not now, when? Because
I've been saying that for about the last 3 months, honestly, but that's another story, right?
It just seems like, and don't get me wrong, Nick. I mean, you want to do it at the perfect time. It's just, I feel that with Damian Priest,
the time has passed. I think they've ruined. I think they wasted it. I think they wasted it.
Yeah,
they could have gone so many ways with that, and they just haven't. And I just feel like you've wasted that guy's cash in. I mean, I get it. It's still, you get a year with it, but it's been what, 8 months now?
Yeah,
almost 8 months that he's had that damn briefcase, and I just feel like
this Finn Balor, Damian Priest kind of tension there. All of a sudden, now they're best friends again. Like nothing ever happened.
Well, they're tag champs. They kind of scrapped that. I think that's the thing. Like it almost seems like, well, here you go. Now you're the tag champs, so you guys are going to go be okay. They tried to tease a dissension. It didn't work. Now you've got R-Truth hanging around. So, which to me, though, honestly, though, that is phenomenal.
It is phenomenal.
No matter what you feel about R-Truth and how he is, that guy is gold whenever he's on television. He just is. It always makes the TV better. And this Judgment Line story is awesome. This whole thing has been great. Yeah.
He was selling T-shirts. Like, here, Damian, here's your cut.
Here's your cut. Yeah, that was the best. He's like, what is this? That's your cut? Okay. Yeah. He's like, sure. Okay, Truth. Right. Okay, Truth. No problem. Yeah. And then JD going, where's my cut? And him going, well, you're not in Judgment Day. So, you know what I mean? It's the best. It's just the greatest thing, man. R-Truth is phenomenal. You gotta love it. You gotta love it. But I'd be interested to see what they do if that does happen, because like I said, I mean you could you could have him cash in and then finally would settle that. Then you could maybe play up the dissension again and the Judgment Day, I guess. Like if you wanted to play that up, then you could start that again. Well, now he's the champion and you're tag champion. See, that's the other thing too. I think you've kind of backed yourself into a little corner with this,
right?
Because they are the tag team champions and they've been teasing this cash in forever. And it's like, all right, let's say you do that. Now you're forced to kind of go, okay, we got to do something with this because Seth is hurt. So now we got to figure out what we're going to do here, because really, I mean, you could give it to the heel, because it's funny because Judgment Day is slowly, I think, turning face, especially if R-Truth is going to continue to be with them.
Yeah,
that's, you know what I mean? It's headed that direction. We've all seen this before. And McIntyre has obviously been playing this different character where he's now against the crowd and, he doesn't need anybody's help. He's just, blah, 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 blah. He's playing a heel. So you're going to have two heels fight each other, which, again, I don't mind that. But in the same token, like, are you going to do the full turn then with Damian? Does the Judgment Day turn on him? Blah, blah, whatever. You know what I'm saying? Like, you kind of have that whole thing. Because I thought that might happen for a while as well when they started teasing that. It's like, well, I could see Damian going out on his own if he was able to win the title and just being his own man then and going, okay, I'm the champion, blah, blah. But you haven't done that. He is a tag champ. You know, they do all this and this and that. So I don't know. Like I said, I'll be interested to see. And I know we're speculating, but yeah, if Rollins goes out, I'd be very interested to see what they do, what their next move is.
Right now, we're hoping it's just something minor that
Yeah,
you can
something
probably
minor.
just rest for a few weeks, because
Yeah,
really you don't have to have him wrestle. He's still the champion.
no,
If he's out for a long time, you're losing money here. You have Rollins Punk at Mania. That's out the door. You need that match.
yeah.
Now, whether that's
No,
for
you-
the title or not is another issue. But
Well, see, that's the other thing too. With Roman not being at Elimination Chamber, you have no title. So now, if Seth is out, what do you know? You're gonna have a pay-per-view from Australia, mind you. Like, this is supposed to be a big deal for them. They're in Perth, and you're gonna have no heavyweight title match. Like no big title matches because Roman's not gonna be there and Seth is out. Like, you got to scramble and do something. You can't just let Australia down like that. I mean, come on. You got to have title matches, right?
What a good segue you just did right there, because let's talk about that schedule.
I try.
Thank you. Yeah. So you just said it. No Roman down under. He won't be there.
And apparently not at Backlash either.
Bonjour. No Roman Reigns. Bonjour. French.
No overseas trips for Roman, apparently, right? No overseas trips.
We can't have the head of the table get up and fly across a couple continents there now, can we? So
I guess not. Well, there's probably a reason for that too. Obviously, again, not to break the kayfabe, but we all know Roman, is in remission from leukemia, right. And I think there was, and I think that's why the abbreviated schedule started. It's just one of those things where, he can't go every week. He just, he's still trying to, fight this. I'm sure in some way it doesn't necessarily leave you. He still has it technically. He's just in remit. He's just, so, I mean, I get why the schedule happened, but that's, and again, that could be one of the reasons he's not traveling overseas. There's a lot more contact with people. His immune system is a little compromised. Like, maybe it is just too much. And it's like, hey, I'm not going overseas. Sorry, that's just way too much. So I get all that. But at the same time, again, that does hurt that you don't have your champion at a, Elimination Chamber in Australia. Backlash is after Mania. That's the first pay-per-view after Mania. And it's in France this year, so you're not going to have him there either. So, yeah, it's, I wondered, like you said, that you and I'm sure we're going to get into this since you brought up Roman Reigns' schedule. But I can only imagine, again, the theories I have for Mania with Roman and that whole thing. And so I don't know. I'll be interested. But sorry, go ahead and. You were getting into the schedule part.
Just, people will say, well, you went to Canada. Well, guys, it's not overseas. It's just you could drive to Canada. So
straight north, across the border. That's nothing, right?
Exactly.
Going over water into a foreign land, that's a totally different thing. Yeah.
So,
what's Australia? 12, 16-hour flight or something? Who even knows? Like, I've never been there. So, but I'm saying it's got to be one of those long flights, whatever layovers. I'm sure, it's.
And not only that, Nick, but it's not just in Australia. It's in Western Australia. Perth is West Australia.
Is it it's in the western part of,
the western part of, because Melbourne, Sydney are on the east part of Australia.
Okay, there you go. So and then Perth is on the west.
Perth is on the west. So, I mean, it's an even longer flight. And Australia is actually bigger than the United States. If you think about it, they're actually
geographically, like the area and stuff. Yeah, I get what you're saying. Yeah,
so
I get where you're going there.
Yeah. So anyway, I mean, it's going to be interesting to see how this plays out. We know he's going to be at the Rumble. Fatal 4-Way could be a very interesting match, and that's leading us into our next topic, the Royal Rumble preview. We all know that we have the men and women's Royal Rumbles, and we also have the undisputed Universal title match with Roman Reigns, Randy Orton, AJ Styles, and LA Knight. It's a fatal 4-way match. I'm very interested in this match because I think it's going to be fun to watch. Usually I'm not a big fan of these type of matches. I always like the one-on-one.
Yeah, for sure. For the title, exactly. Yeah, I get you.
But what it does, I think, is it's going to protect Randy Orton. I don't think he gets pinned. It's too early to pin Randy Orton, especially if you're going to have a match with Roman down the line. You want to save that. AJ Styles possibly could take the pen here. I mean, he's done pretty much everything in WWE. And LA Knight, do you want to pin him again, though? I mean, because he's getting up there, as far as being near the top of the card. You want to, give him momentum,
No, I mean, the consensus would be that AJ takes the pin if you think about it. Like you said, you want to protect Randy for his WrestleMania match.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because he's going to have a big one. He just is, whoever you decide to put him with. Again, AJ Styles is kind of in that, he's a star. Obviously, we know everything AJ's done. He's a great wrestler, all that stuff. But really, where is he in that sense? Like, they threw him into this, but, you don't really see them giving AJ the title. I just don't. With everybody else who's there, I don't think AJ's at the top of the list to be a champion again right now. So, you're not, and again, LA Knight, is the push dead? Is the push not dead? Like, I don't know. Again, you've put him, he's in this spot right now, but, if you're not going to push him anymore, then LA might actually eat another one. But I kind of feel like it's AJ Styles who eats the pin here, personally.
I mean,
we'll see what happens,
Yeah. When I say momentum for LA Knight, I believe he's going to wrestle Logan Paul at WrestleMania. He's going to win his first title there.
A U.S. champion. Yeah.
The U.S. champion, yes. Yeah. Tried to pawn that thing off to Logan Paul.
I saw that, but
yeah. But he's going to fight Kevin Owens at Royal Rumble. So I suspect Logan Paul is going to retain. If that's or Kevin could win the title. You could still have the Logan Paul LA Knight match without a title. I mean,
you could absolutely
in theory, but as far as LA Knight's momentum, I don't think you want to have him pinned, just because you're still trying to build him up. He's still in that semi-main event level. AJ, I mean, he's a pro. I don't think you're gonna have any problem with him doing business. So, and Randy Orton again, you're gonna have a future match with Roman Reigns, or you could have one with Cody or CM Punk, just down the line. You want to keep.
Yeah, no, for sure. That's what I said. I think you keep Randy strong. You don't let him take the pin. I mean, and it's the other thing too, though. Like, I hope they don't chicken out in a sense. Like, I don't think they will. This is a big pay-per-view. You know what I mean? But like some kind of count out. Because there's no disqualification, as we all know. The caveat is right. Anything goes. It's a fatal four-way. So you're gonna see the Bloodline. You're probably gonna see the OC. You know what I'm saying? Gallows and Anderson are probably gonna come down during this match at some point as well. This match could have tons of interference, tons of stuff going on, and I just hope that in the end it's not some stupid finish where, like, because again, obviously we're all probably of the belief that Roman will retain, so Roman then has to get the pin in order for that to happen.
Right.
So you know what I mean? So it's like, all right, they're not going to do anything too crazy, but I really hope they don't go that route in terms of finishing the match and Roman keeping the title on a, not that there's not supposed to be a disqualification, but I'm just saying something goofy like that or whatever, it's a free for all. The match goes nuts. The ref throws everybody out, whatever. But obviously Roman's got to pin whoever it is to retain the title. So I think we all pretty much are in agreement that that's going to happen. So we'll just have to wait and see who it is.
Again, Nick, I just don't see Roman losing at the Rumble. I mean, the only time I see him losing the belt is at Mania.
Is that Mania? No, agreed. I mean, that's
but again,
that's where he should lose it. But he may not lose it there either. But that's where he should lose it. Yeah.
But who's it going to be? Is it going to be Cody? Is it going to be The Rock? I mean,
that Rock thing really bothers me. I'm sorry, not because I don't like The Rock or any of that, but it's like, we obviously know Rock comes back once, twice a year at most. Generally, at this time in his career, we know he's Mr. Hollywood now. It's fine. He's living his life doing his thing. Great for you, Dwayne. But, you come back, then everybody gets excited. And everybody's like, a title match, Roman and Rock. That match doesn't need to be for a title. You've got a guy who comes in twice a year. Like, it's an attraction. I get it. And that's what it should be. It should be an attraction match. It shouldn't be for any titles. It shouldn't be for anything else but just the two of them to beat the hell out of each other for that head of the table thing that, that Rock was like, should I go eat the bar? Should I go to the hang? Or should I sit at the head of the table? Hey, the crowd goes nuts. So, I mean, I feel like don't do that. Like, it shouldn't be for a title. But again, I don't see Roman losing at Royal Rumble, and since he's not going to be an Elimination Chamber, he'll probably be the champion for WrestleMania. So that he'll wrestle The Rock for the title. But then again, you're not giving Rock the title, so I mean, it's just like, unless you did something goofy, where like Rock beats him. All right, Rock has his last WrestleMania moment. He wins the belt, and the next night on Raw, he tells him, "I'm sorry, I did what I accomplished what I needed to. I'm head of the table. I hereby give you the belt back, blah, 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 blah." And then they have some stupid tournament to determine who the next champion is or something. But go ahead. You got an alternate theory, right? Go ahead.
Damian Priest cashes in.
Cashes in on The Rock. I mean, no, again, that wouldn't be horrible. But again, yeah, you still got that briefcase angle. But it's like, does he cash in on that one, though? Like, because that's nowhere in his purview. If you think about it, that would be a total swerve because he's not even on SmackDown. So you would totally be like, Damian comes out of nowhere and decides to go after The Rock. Like, it's just one of those things where you go, I don't think they do that. But hey, that at least would be something I never saw coming or anybody else would, right? You wouldn't see it coming. Yeah, that's an ultimate swerve.
The ultimate swerve, bro.
Bro.
Like,
right.
bro.
That's what I'm saying. Like, that would totally just be like, oh, look, they totally fooled all of us. Here you go. Damian Priest beats The Rock for the title. Yeah, no. But I don't think they do that either. But go ahead.
No, I just don't see. No, they're not going to give the title to The Rock. Roman's going to keep. And here's the thing, Nick. We all know that his reign is around the 1,300-day mark now. Hulk Hogan's at 1,474. So, with that being said, he could. I think WWE wants to pass Hogan. They want Roman to pass him.
No, and this is what I would do then, because I agree with you, even though I disagree with that premise entirely. We've talked about this off air, but here's what I think you do then. You have that meeting next week where Punk wants to talk to Cody. Okay. That should be your WrestleMania match then. If you want to have Rock wrestle Roman, fine. Make it a title match. Rock loses. Roman retains, takes that time off, doesn't go to Backlash, whatever. But then have Punk and Cody at Mania. Because here's the thing. Cody, and you make it the main event of night one maybe. Because you still need to give Cody that big match. I don't think it serves you anyway. The way you've booked him since he's been back, you can't just put him in some mid-tier match and go, here, you're on fourth. Like you don't do that. You just haven't built him that way. This guy is your star. You've pushed him to the ends of the earth. You know what I mean? I mean, how many more times is he going to beat Nakamura? I'm just saying. Like, how many more matches the old guy's going to have? Like, you've pushed this guy to no limit. So maybe this is where you pull the swerve, as it were, and you have Punk wrestle, Cody at WrestleMania. And then, because as you said, if you're not going to have Cody win the title at Mania, if you're going to keep it on Roman, then you still need to keep Cody and Roman away from each other. You know what I mean? Like you.
Yeah. Nick, I'm going to bring up something real quick here. And I just thought about this. Let's say, again, hypothetically, Seth is out for a while.
Yeah.
What if they put that title
on Punk
at the Royal Rumble?
Okay, yeah.
Like they did with Ric Flair 32 years ago.
Oh, yeah, that whole thing. And Punk wins or Cody wins? Yeah.
Wins the title. Yeah. Let's just say that's only if Seth's out.
No, right. I got you.
Like and let's say CM Punk and Cody are the last two remaining.
Last two in the ring, yeah.
And let's say CM Punk has to win. And then here's why. Cody, once again, another speed bump. The story continues.
100% right. And as I said,
there you go. There's your match at WrestleMania right there. Yeah. I could see that. Especially if you don't have Roman on the next PLE, which is Elimination Chamber.
Which you don't. Elimination Chamber, you don't have him, and then you don't have him for the one after Mania. So, yeah.
That would make, again, that's only if Seth's out.
Yeah. No, for sure.
Not, but, because we want our Seth Rollins here. I mean, the guy is one of the best performers in WWE.
No, he is. And he has been for a long time. And that's the thing. Like, I was glad they gave him another title run like this because, he deserved that. But, I don't know about you, but I'd love to see Punk and Cody go at it at WrestleMania. I think that'd be great.
Wouldn't be against that. I really wouldn't because Nick,
Yeah.
there's a lot of story there. Let's remember.
There's a ton of stories. There's AEW back
You're right,
history.
yeah.
You know what I'm
Don't
saying?
ever mention
Like
that by name, but
they,
there's going to be
yeah,
those stories.
but yeah,
in it.
I mean, there's so much there, and all wrestling fans know that, and so it's like, yeah, who wouldn't want to see Punk and Cody? You know, so I don't know. Yeah, again, there's so much you can do. I get that, but yeah,
I still
again,
think it's
if you're
going to
not,
be Rollins and Punk in some capacity yet.
it should be. If Rollins is right, Rollins can go, then yes, it'll probably be Rollins and Punk, and that'll be that.
Yeah, because you were there at Survivor Series, Nick. You saw when Punk came back, and then after the show, you saw Seth Rollins pulling that, little hissing.
Oh, that was a great acting performance, by the way. I'm telling you, it was phenomenal. That's why I said. And again, I know a lot of people at home didn't see it because they cut out. I saw because I went and watched the rebroadcast to see exactly where they cut out, so I could see from what you guys saw. And you guys didn't see any of Seth's real, the reaction, as it were. You guys got cut off. I mean, you saw Punk come out, of course. That was right at the end. They put the little tag in the corner. Then the music hits. So you got to see Punk come out, essentially. And that's why I say, like, people are like, oh, my God, Seth Rollins. I'm like, no, believe me, I was in the arena. Trust me when I tell you, Rollins was facing forward. And he knew Punk was coming out. So all that extra stuff that they filmed was exactly that. It was to further the rivalry. It was staged real. And I'm telling you, because even Rhea Ripley flipped off CM Punk. She was standing on the other side of the cage talking to Dominic through the cage. And the minute Punk came out, she flipped him off and started doing this because he started to, it's a time thing. Like, so they played it all the way around. Like, everybody reacted to what Punk was doing. And then when it was Rollins' turn, he comes out the cage in a fury. And that's what they take. Yeah, he's he's so so yeah. To put all of you internet people at ease, it was all staged. Trust me, I was there. I can verify this. I saw it all unfold in front of my eyes. I saw it all. Trust me.
It
was all staged. Yeah, it was all staged. Because believe me, if Punk was really, or if Rollins was really that upset, he'd have come out the cage immediately. And I'm telling you, my favorite. Sorry, when I talk about this stuff, I get excited. I keep going. But to me, the funniest thing, and I think I told you about that, the funniest thing was when Punk came out, Orton grabs a chair and sits down in the ring because he just, it's like he knew what was going to. So he literally, you see him pick up the chair, open it up, and just sit down, and he's just sitting there like, like, it was just funny to see, you guys didn't get to see that, but that was hilarious. No, but yeah, everybody, like even the guys, even the heels in the back, they were in the second ring for a while, and they were just looking at what Punk was doing. Then they all came to the front ring. Like I said, Dominic's talking to Rhea, Priest is talking to Balor. So yeah, there was so much going on after when Punk came out. But yeah, it's crazy.
My belief is the only people that knew were Triple H, Punk, Rollins, and I would say maybe Randy Orton. Because Randy
probably knew. Because even Randy did this too. Like he gave the clock thing. Like Randy did the same thing. So yeah, it was pretty much some of the other guys. Like Sami Zayn may have had an idea, but like because they all played it fairly straight. Him, Owen, like they all just kind of were like, oh, okay, Punk's back, yay. You know what I mean? Like,
but people like Dom and Rhea probably didn't know. They weren't going to tell until he came out. So
I think they said just before the match happened, like before they went out, is when they told them Punk's coming out at the end. Blah blah. Here you go. So yeah, they found out right at the last minute. Yeah.
Yeah. So man, I'm pumped, Nick. I mean, this is going to be an interesting Royal Rumble.
I'm looking forward to Mania season. This is going to be a good few months. Yes. I am like, I don't want to make it seem like I'm not, because I really am. I know I'm not a fan of the whole Roman storyline, but that's okay. I'm going to roll with it because this is always the best season for WWE, and I think, I always look forward to Elimination Chamber. I always look forward to the Rumble. Then, of course, Mania, so these next 3 months, man, they're going to be great. I think you're going to see some good stuff. Yeah. Everything's going to flesh itself out. You start setting up the WrestleMania storylines, it's going to be good. It usually is. And I mean, you got 2 nights.
Two nights.
They put on a great show. Let's be honest. For Mania, they always go all out. They always put on a good show. You usually get, I mean, again, maybe not every match is stellar, but you're going to get, on any given night, there's usually, 7 matches each night, somewhere in there.
Yeah.
And at least 4 or 5 of them are really, really great. And, you get those.
Was incredible. I mean,
that's what I'm saying.
Yeah. Cody Roman, the Usos against Owens and Zayn. I mean,
Which to me that's probably one of the best. And I've seen a lot of tag matches in my day, but that one just for the storyline and the way that it went, that was one of the best tag matches I think I've ever seen in my life.
Yes,
really tremendous.
Totally.
The way the whole thing, yeah, it's a great tag match. It was, yeah, that had everything. That
and
was
Nick,
really
we're
great.
going to get into WrestleMania in the coming months on this show and stuff like that. We're probably going to name our favorite WrestleManias and stuff. But the other night, I just want to mention real quick, I was watching WrestleMania Rewind and on the network or Peacock.
Yeah,
so they had the start of it all. We all know the story. Vince bought it from his dad.
Yeah,
because I'm going national, Dad. Nobody's going to stop me. You're either with me or against me. This is what he envisioned, Nick. Something like this. He wanted this to be the Super Bowl of pro wrestling.
Yeah, he really did. He had the vision.
And yeah, I mean, look at, and he's rewarded us with this, whether you like Vince or not, and we all know his, indiscrepancies and stuff like that. But
yeah,
like the man, give him credit for inventing this idea. And every March, April, wherever you want to call it, we get to sit down and enjoy it.
Yeah, I mean, people eat it up, man. Like everybody loves WrestleMania, don't they? I mean, it's just like,
and people
how do you not?
All over the world,
yeah,
like
I mean, the celebrities, the whole thing. Like, and that was the thing. Like the first one I remember. I mean, I remember seeing it. I don't remember seeing it live. I don't think I saw it delayed, like the next, like whatever it was. Like I didn't see it as it happened because I think for the first one I was 12 years old. And I don't believe we had like the cable or whatever at the time where you could see it. We saw it later. But I mean, and even the people who were on that first card, a lot of people go, oh, but I mean, it was all the stars. They're like, I mean, Tito Santana was on the card.
Yep.
King Kong Bundy was there at the time. He had the 9-second match with SD Jones where he pins him in 9 seconds, right? So they had that. I mean, you had Wyndham and Rotunda were the tag champions. They lost to Volkov and the Iron Sheik. That was that. You have obviously the big one, Hogan and Mr. T against Piper and Orndorff. That you had that whole rock and wrestling thing. Like that was great. I mean, just a phenomenal card, and that he mortgaged everything for that, and it paid off. I mean, you had the whole thing. I mean, you had Billy Martin there was like a timekeeper. Liberace came out with his dancing girls, right? Like Muhammad Ali was the guest referee for
and
it's funny because Pat Patterson tells a story about how Muhammad Ali got a little heated during the match. He really wanted to go there and fight Piper Orndorff and Cowboy Bob Orton. Like Pat said he had to pull him back because he got charged up. He wanted to go in there and fight. So that kind of stuff, that's the kind of stuff you don't get with just any wrestling event. Like they go all out and they do a great job. And Mania is always a fun thing to see. And now that it's 2 days, you get double that stuff. Like you get the whole thing.
And Nick, it needed to be 2 days because you just have so many great matches. They did in 2019. I remember right before the pandemic. That was the main event was Becky, Ronda, and Charlotte.
Yeah.
By that time, Nick, we were in the 6 hours, and I think it had the momentum because the fans are just so tired. Like
you are. I mean,
so that's when they decided
6 hours is a long time to me. Yeah, exactly.
We need to cut it in half. Let's go 3 hours one night. 3 hours.
3 hours the next night. Yeah. And it's not like you don't have to worry about filling it because you're always going to sell out. Like it does. It's a spectacle. Everybody comes. People come from like I said, overseas, from other countries to come here to see it. So you never have a problem with the crowd or selling it. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But it was a smart idea. It was a smart idea to do that, and that gives you the chance to have two really good main events. You know what I mean? You have one on Saturday and one on Sunday.
Yeah. And, in Philly, I mean, they got to have somebody win a championship there this year in Philadelphia. So,
wow, Ben goes there. Take that, Eagles fans, right?
Yeah,
Take that, pal. Because hey, as we all know, you got to buck with Ben. Ben's a Bucks fan, ladies and gentlemen. So
let's buck with Ben. My good buddy Alex Loosemore, who we're coming for you, bud, this weekend.
Yeah, this is going to be a great weekend because for those of you who follow Ben outside of here, he's got the football program, the NFL edition. He's got his own. He does his Ben's own thing, like the whole thing. We all know Ben's a Bucks fan. So when this happened, when this matchup was announced, when you knew this was happening, I personally was like, "Oh, this is going to be fun." because you get to see now. We got Alex Loosemore, stone cold Detroit Lions fan.
Yeah.
His team is the favorite. Obviously, they're having a great year, so Alex is pumped. His team wins a national. He's also a Michigan fan, obviously. His team wins a national championship. Now his Lions are playing for a chance to go to NFC Championship game for the first time since '91, and then he's pumped up. Then you got Ben, you got Marty, Johnny Dean. They're all Bucks fan. Marty, like everybody, and for some reason, everybody's a Bucks fan in this thing. So yeah, so you got this huge matchup coming up this weekend where they're like, see, somebody's already talking. Bucks will beat Lions. Bucks dark horse team, NFC. There you go. So yeah, you got
Corey Brown's in the house.
Is that Corey? Yeah, is that Corey Brown? Yeah, Corey. Good old Corey. Well, Corey's a Stone Cold Bucks fan. We know that.
Yes.
I've seen Corey post some stuff where I go, "What do you really? You believe that, Corey?
Yeah.
Is that what's happening?" But I get it. He's a fan. That's his team. He supports them to the end, right? I respect that. I respect that, sir. I truly do.
Absolutely. And then Bucks, dangerous defense, dangerous. Fast Bucks still have a Super Bowl. We'll see. I mean, it's here in Vegas, the Super Bowl. Would love to see.
Could you imagine Ben Cornette like almost wetting himself if the Bucks make the Super Bowl in his home where he lives? Ben lives there. Ben would be like, I have to get a ticket. Ben would probably mortgage his apartment or something. Like he would just be like, I'm going to go broke for the next 6 months, but I need to go to this Super Bowl because my Bucks are playing here in Vegas. Wouldn't that be something though? If they, yeah.
Buddy, I've seen the prices, and I got to tell you, man.
No, I think we don't. We'd probably all have to send you money, and then we still wouldn't have enough for a ticket. I know.
I know.
So yeah, they're insane. They're insane with the ticket prices, but yeah, I get it.
The festivities will still be great out here. Somehow.
Oh no, I'm sure we wouldn't find you anywhere near your apartment for those 3-4 days because you'll be all out where the action is, doing everything you can. Exactly, soaking it all up. Which you might do that anyways because the Super Bowl's in your hometown. Come on,
Yeah.
There's going to be stuff going on anyway. So even if it's not the Bucks, hey, go on and have some fun.
I got some mafia work to do, but no. Just kidding.
Right. You got to go make a few collections, bust a few kneecaps. It's all good. Corey likes Bucks versus Bills, huh?
We've been in 2021. Yeah. Hey, the Bills are red hot. And listen, I know this is a wrestling show. We'll get into it for a minute. Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Listen, this is the first time ever Mr. Mahomes and company go on the road.
On the road.
Yes. Go to Buffalo. What a tough game that's going to be, man. And I got to tell you, man, it's going to be fun. This weekend's going to be fun, guys.
That should be. I'm hoping that's the game of the weekend, but we'll see. Because the other ones are not bad, but I mean, I don't see the Packers giving San Francisco much. I mean, they'll be in the game maybe for a little bit. San Francisco's just too tough, I think.
I agree.
Texans, Ravens could go either way depending on how the Ravens come out. I think if you don't punch C.J. Stroud in the mouth to start with, that kid could take the game over. So depending, like I said, how the Ravens come out and that starts. And then, of course, Chiefs, Bills. Like that should be the game of the weekend. And, of course, Bucks, Lions. I mean, that could be a good one, too. Don't get me wrong. Yeah, but I think, that's just one of those games where you go, let these two teams at it. You got a good defense in Tampa against that Lions offense. And, see what happens.
By the way, tomorrow night, NFL edition, 10 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Pacific. We're going to get into our picks as well. Hopefully, Mr. You'll join us. Hopefully,
I'll try. I will try. Yeah, I might have. I have a little family thing to go to, but depending on what time I get back, if you guys are still, I will definitely jump on if I can. Absolutely.
Awesome.
Absolutely. Well, Nick,
buddy, I appreciate you jumping on this show tonight. It's really cool talking wrestling. Like old time sakes, we.
I did. Believe me, I get charged for that. I'll talk wrestling with anybody, anytime for whatever reason. Yeah, this is just wrestling has always been in my blood, and I love it. Yeah.
Awesome. And my plan, everybody out there, the next episode, I think we're going to do a pre-show before the Royal Rumble, Saturday, January 27th.
Oh, okay. I see where you're going. I see where you're going with that, sir. I see where you're going with that. Sure.
Why not? I mean, because we're only a week and a half away, and I feel like
it's coming up. It's coming up.
Do something huge. Try to get you on if you can join us. We could try to get other people on. Give our.
I will have to let you know, but if I can, I will. But that. If I can, I will.
After that, we'll cut into the Royal Rumble and watch the show and see how it unfolds, man. We're into it.
Yeah, I'm with it. I'm with it.
Is here. So everybody,
upon us, right?
Yes, we're gonna end the show on that note. Great episode tonight. Good to have you on again, Nick.
Thank you, sir.
Lots of fun. And then that'll be it for tonight, man. Good stuff. And guys, everybody out there, all wrestling fans, get ready. This is the best
Yeah.
3 or 4 months.
Best season. Yeah,
out of
this is
the
the best 3 months ever. Yeah, honestly, for wrestling,
Yes,
is the best
so-
3 months. 100%.
Exactly. So, like I said, one more time, you're watching this on my YouTube channel at Ben Cornett 9015. Give me a like, share, and follow it, and subscribe. Greatly appreciate that. And with that being said, Nick, that is it for the night. Wait a minute. We got one more comment from Corey. Bye, Eagles. Bye. Yes.
Bye, Eagles. Bye, he says.
Yeah.
Oh, Corey, you are something else, my friend. I love it.
And on that note, it is time to go. We will see you next time right here on Face to Heels. Take care, everybody, and have a nice night.
Good night, everybody.